What up, my peeps? I am the Ruckus, and these are my toys. Up next and on deck, we have the Marvel Legends Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness Rintrah Build-A-Figure Wave Despair. This is a comic figure right here. This character is from the 616 or the comics, and it is one of two figures in this wave that are from the comics, the other being Sleepwalker, whom I've already reviewed. So yeah, that's what we got here. You can clearly see Despair in the clamshell packaging along with his accessories and the Build-A-Figure piece to be able to you collect those so you can build Rintrah, and that's how it goes down. Looking at the side, you've got some artwork of Despair. Same thing on the other side. So we're going to go to the back, and you have that same artwork, only of course more expanded. In the rear there, below, you see the figures in this wave, including what's required to build Rintrah. Doctor Strange is not required. There is the readout, which is as follows: the embodiment of the ultimate evil, Despair uses the fear of others to strengthen himself. And that's pretty much it. That is what Despair does. There's nothing on the top because he's not part of the movie line or any other line for that matter. Of course, there's the legalese on the bottom. And yeah, that's about the size of it right there. So putting him back there so we can look at him. Just giving you a little bit of background on this character, Despair. Despair was first seen in issue 68 of Marvel Team Up Volume 1 back in 1968. So believe it or not, he's been around for a minute. In that issue, he went up against Spider-Man and the Man-Thing. And I guess they introduced him that way because when you're dealing with the Man-Thing, if you guys know anything about the Man-Thing, you know that if you're afraid, whatever knows fear burns at the Man-Thing's touch. So that made sense why they pitted those two together. As far as Despair himself, he is the cousin of Nightmare, which is any Doctor Strange fan knows that's one of Doctor Strange's greatest enemies. And whereas Nightmare, obviously, as his name describes, he invades minds while they sleep, generates nightmares, and basically he feeds off them. Despair, as his name, though spelled differently, would describe, would indicate he feeds off of fear and despair. So he can read your mind and basically, nudge those things that give you pause, that make you afraid, and then he strengthens those, he intensifies those, and he feeds off the result, which is his victims' fear and despair. He's got super strength. He's usually intangible, even though he can get solid. He got solid enough for Spider-Man to basically punch him out. He can shoot energy blasts, believe it or not. And of course the his primary ability is to instill fear in his victims. So that's about it. He's been a Doctor Strange foe, and he's reared his head a few times. So yeah, like I said, he's been around since 1978. So yeah, he's been out there for a minute. So speaking of out there, let's get him out of his packaging. Despair comes with the right leg needed to build Rintrah. Despair also comes with an additional set of hands. These are open hands. As you can see, they've got the that reach out, sinister type of pose for these hands. They're not really meant to grip anything, only to reach. You could probably They seem to be wide enough that you can throttle someone with them. And finally, technically not an accessory because it's part of his look, his costume, his appearance, is his cape. But it came separate because of the nature of how you have to put it on. You see that top right there, so you're going to have to pop his head in order to apply his cape. But the cape looks bomb on the inside there. It's got texture, as you can see. It's got the tatters, which is cool, and you see that it's painted white. Turn to the back, you see all that white. We're going to take a look at the cape again when we do our little up and down of the figure. But yeah, that's the cape. And here we have Despair on our rotating platter, which of course isn't rotating, and that's by design because I want to take this time out to apply his cape on camera, so that's why he's not rotating. But here's what we're going to do. We'll pop his head. As you can see, it's on a ball hinge. Then you just take his cape, stick it on, apply it to him, and then pop his head back on. There it is. So his cape is on, and then now, oh, it's not, his head isn't all the way popped on. There we go. We want to get that snap. So now it's on. Set him back up, make sure that he'll stand, and there he is. And now we've got him rotating, so we can get that 360 of Despair in all of his fearful glory right there. Taking a look at that cape in the back. Nice as it looked by itself, it looks even better when it's dressed up on Despair himself. As you can see, he's just black and white, pretty simple. It's all it is. But the nature of the character calls for that. So the only other color are the reds of his eyes, and we'll get a closer look at that momentarily as we take Despair off of the rotating platter. So let's get that done. All right, now we've got Despair up close and personal, so we can get a better look at him. First of all, of course, we're going to be checking out that head sculpt and those red eyes. You see the paint that he's basically molded in black, and all the applications are the white and the red paint applications is what we get there. So you see the reds of his eyes. See if I can get a little bit closer without blurring out. I think that's about as close as I can get. You can see that, and you can see the details in his face. He's got, you'll see some speckles of black. That's by design. If you look at both sides of his eyes, they have an equal number of, we'll call them black spots. And pretty good. He's got the black that basically formulates his nose. And then look at that mouth. He's got that, if your lips were stuck together and you're trying to pry them apart look. So you see that. Taking a look at his side, and you see even more of it there. That white face on black skull. You've got that. Looking at his cape going down. I love the cape. I love how the cape is designed. Of course, now you just got nothing but plain black. Let's take a look at those gloves. Stick an arm out so you could see see how it melts into the black, or the black melts into the glove, into the forearm, however you want to look at it. It's repeated on the other side. I honestly believe, because Despair is a demon, that he's basically butt naked, and that this is how he looks. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I believe. But anyway, going down, like I said, he's just all black, so you're not going to get much in the way of that. Turning around, you've got his cape there, and the way how it ends with the hood. He's got that big flailed out hood. I'm going to lift him up and see if we can see underneath the cape, which we can. Once again, all it is just the molded black. That's all it is. So that's what we got. Turn him back around, come down, and there's our guy Despair. Checking out Despair's articulation. Like I said previously, his head is on a ball hinge joint, so he can look up that good. And what's great is the nature of his cape isn't impeding him looking up, so that's great. He can look down, not fully, because unfortunately the opposite is happening, because of the piece of his cape that's right there is impeding. But if you took the cape off, he could look down further than that. He can do left and right. With the cape on, he's not going to do a 360, obviously. With the cape off, he can fully rotate. As far as his arms, because of the cape, he's not going to be able to go do a 360 going around, but you can get it up and it'll move the cape out of the way somewhat. He's got butterfly joints. This is the Sunfire body mold, if I didn't mention that already. He's got bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, and they are pinned. This is the Sunfire body. We've had that body for a few years now. He's got wrist swivel and a hinge. That way he has an ab crunch, and he can get that far forward, which is great. And he can go that far back, which is also great. And it's not really being impeded by the cape. The cape is like made of a kind of rubbery plastic. He's got waist articulation, so that's great. His hips, he can get out this far. He can move his leg up basically 90. Can go back that much. He's got a thigh rotation. He's got double jointed knees that are, of course, pinned. He also has a calf cut, even though he's not really wearing boots, but he does get calf rotation. And he can point his toe that far forward, that far up, not that much up. He's got ankle pivot, and of course, he's got holes, peg holes, at the bottom of his feet. And here's Despair with his open hands, the grasping, which I think he can throttle someone with those hands. When I finally display him, it's going to be with these hands, because I think these open hands are more appropriate. He is a demon after all, more appropriate than those closed-fisted hands. He's not a brawler. He's being a demon. I think these hands make him look more creepy. For some comparisons, here's Despair with the two characters that helped introduce him into the Marvel Universe. You've got Man-Thing, which is the Build-A-Figure from the Netflix wave. And of course, you have the Superposable Spider-Man from the first Retro Series wave by the same name. Next, we have Despair side by side with his wave mate, America Chavez, from the Doctor Strange movie. Finally, we've got him next to his other wave mate and only other comic-based figure in the wave, Sleepwalker. So to sum it all up, the Marvel Legends Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness Rintrah Build-A-Figure wave, Despair, is for me a welcome addition to my collection. Yeah, he's only basically 3 colors, 2 if you exclude the red of his eyes. He's only molded in black and painted white, but it isn't about the paint. This was the design of the character, and quite frankly, I'm loving the design. He's a demon, and he definitely looks the part with that tattered cape and the white highlights of his face, forearms, and hands. Of course, light on accessories, just a second set of hands, which I have him sporting right now. He came out of package with fists, which it's all good that he can never sweat having more accessories. But I'm going to display him with these hands right here. I just think they're more appropriate here, with him being a demon, a fear demon at that. And that's how he's going to be displayed. I think, guys, I think it's past due since we're talking demons and fear demons and this, that, and the third, we are long overdue for a nightmare figure, his cousin. So it would be great if Hasbro hopped up to the plate and gave us one of those. But until then, we will just have to hope and wish, that we get what we want. And I'm also hoping and wishing that you guys will like this video, share this video, because this review is now over. And I definitely want you guys to subscribe and tell a friend, share, have them come on, so that way I can try to convince them to subscribe as well. Because brother's trying to get to that, still trying to get to that 100. I'm almost there, creeping slowly, almost there. And then I'll shut up about that and start worrying about getting to that grand, trying to get that stat. You know what I'm saying? So, but in the meantime, thank you guys for rocking with me. And like I said, please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and also to smash the bell so you can be notified when I upload another video. Until the next time, my peeps, remember, the hunt continues, and I am out. Peace.